know that there are 56.7 million people with a disability in the United States? That's 1 out of every 4 people, making up the largest minority group in the United States. Learning respectful ways to interact with people with disabilities is a great way to ensure people can fully be a part of our communities. People with disabilities are individuals, and everyone is different. The best way to know how someone wants to be treated is to simply just ask them. It is always better to ask than to make assumptions. It is fairly common for stereotypes to influence us when interacting with people with disabilities. Our culture has taught us, often incorrectly, certain assumptions about people with disabilities. The best way to combat this tendency is to see every person as an individual. Stereotypes can limit how we perceive and value people with disabilities. For example, seeing them as heroic and inspirational communicates low expectations of people with disabilities. This frames the disability as something to overcome, rather than a natural part of human life. Another example is feeling pity for people with disabilities and seeing them as victims. People with disabilities want to be treated like everyone else and be appreciated for their strengths. All situations call for flexibility, patience, creativity, and open communication. Let's go over some fundamentals of disability etiquette. Focus on individuality. Have patience. Ask, don't assume. Treat people with respect and dignity. It's important to remember that people with disabilities are individuals with families, jobs, hobbies, likes and dislikes, problems and joys. While the disability is an integral part of who they are, it alone does not define them.
It is both unjust and tragic that people with intellectual and developmental differences all over the world receive substandard health care. In community after community and country after country, we have seen the toll of health care injustice. This video is our effort to amplify the voices of people with intellectual and developmental differences, amplify the voices that ask for fairness, for care, for equality, for justice, from their healthcare practitioners and all those who support them. We hope that in doing this, that the needs of people with intellectual and developmental differences will be seen not as burdens, but as gifts. Gifts to be recognized and treated and cared for by every healthcare practitioner in the world.
Athletes with disabilities are just like everyone else. They just want to be treated fairly and respectfully.
Get to know me.
Get to know me.
Try to get to know them first and try to see what their health issue is. If you can understand their health issue at first, then you get to have a first-hand perspective of how they're feeling physically.
Treat me like the other patients.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Talk to them person to person. Treat them like an adult, not like a young person, like a young kid.
Talk to me and not my mom.
I can speak for myself.
I can make choices about my health.
Don't be afraid to work with people like us. We're more than like them, we are different.
They're just like any other patient. They have health problems, discomfort problems. It just may take a little bit longer to listen to what they have to say.
If our athletes aren't healthy, they can't perform well. They can't go to practices, they can't compete well. They're not well. So Healthy Athletes has become a very important program, I think, to so many of the athletes, and it gives them another way to connect with professionals that are outside their realm.
You can look into Special Olympics stories and you'll find ones where some dentists have found mouth cancer in kids that have never been to a dentist, you know, like it's a great way to go out and be a provider and maybe catch something that's never been caught before on some of these individuals.
It is important to be healthy so that I can do the sports that I love.
It's important to be healthy because you feel good about yourself.
The same reason for everyone else to be healthy, so that you can be the best version that you can be.
I want to be as healthy as I can be.
When you're asked to treat someone with a disability,
You say yes.
You say yes.
You say yes.
You say yes.
Say yes and mean it.